Okay, little fact about me is I suffer from ADHD, which stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. Basically, I'm silly, weird, crazy, and a wacky goofball with an IQ of 7 and the attention span of a gerbil. A lot of people have ADHD, and I'm in the middle of its insanity rate. It's not that bad, but it's pretty damn obvious when you first meet me. That's why I have an addiction to old video games right now. I tend to obsess over stuff. So, what's my point here? Why am I telling you this? Well, it's because I hate RPGs. I don't hate them, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I'm just not an RPG guy. RPGs can be well-crafted, amazing games with beautiful stories, environments, and characters. The biggest franchise in the world is a turn-based RPG, that being Pokemon. Getting into retro gaming, I of course had to try Pokemon. It's literally one of the biggest franchises. So I got Pokemon Emerald for the Game Boy Advance, and barely played it. It's not a bad game, far from it, but like I said, my attention span is smaller than the amount of tolerance a female on her period has. I can't stand it. 70% of the game you'll be in battle, and all the battles are to select something from a menu, watch yourself attack, and then get attacked. It's so repetitive and boring and goes on and on. Some of these games can last over 50 freaking hours. 50! That's how long it takes for my monkey brain to finish cleaning my room. I can do anything in that time. That's like a full week of school. They're so easy to develop, and that's probably why a lot of people make them. Once you get the battle system and overworld done, you can just spam crap down and bam, video game. I love the stories these games can tell, it's amazing, but I just don't have the brain capacity to sit down and do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And the amount of text is abysmal. I feel like I'm in a medication ad. You're constantly being bombarded with information. Like I came here to turn my brain off and have some fun, not read. I can't put up with RPGs, but I completely understand why some people can enjoy them. My opinions about them have already been summed up in one song. Just look up Why Don't You Play Them by Scott Wozniak. It's my exact opinions on them. Man. Why am I telling you this? Well, if you read the title, I managed to find not just one RPG, but a whole series of RPGs that I love. And you're never gonna guess what it is, even though it's in the thumbnail. The Mario & Luigi games is a series of RPGs mainly developed by Alpha Dream and published by Nintendo. The first game launched on the Game Boy Advance in 2003 to relative success. Since then, there have been 7 games in the series. I got one of them, an older one to be exact. I've been told on numerous occasions that just like Paper Mario, the first couple of games are the best ones, and it makes a lot of sense for this series. Like I mentioned before, Alpha Dream developed most of the games, but when the 3DS came around, there was only one original game in the series, and it was a crossover with Paper Mario. After that, we got a remaster of Superstar Saga, which was nice, but then we got a remaster of Bowser's Inside Story, 2 years after the Switch came out. This was such a baffling decision, and it sold so poorly that the Alpha Dream studio went bankrupt. Yeah, there is one on the Switch, but it had an entirely new development studio, and people say it's not as good or even downright terrible. So I went ahead and got Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story on the DS. Released in 2009, this is considered the best of the Mario & Luigi series, so I decided to get it. I started it, and just couldn't stop. So why is this the only RPG I like? Well, I'll tell you. So sit back, grab your popcorn, hit that subscribe button, and get comfy. I'm Flashback Gaming, and this is the only RPG I truly like. RPGs are primarily used to tell large and compelling stories, so I think it makes the most sense to inspect the story first. Bowser's Inside Story starts us off in a small town where a young Toad escapes school and goes home early where he meets his mom. She tells him to go to get his father, and he finds him as a massive round bowling ball. Oh my god. A meeting is held with Toadsworth and Princess Peach in command, and they talk about this new strange epidemic called blorbs. They're trying to find the cause and the cure. A shine sprite appears, but is not sure how to help when Mario and Luigi show up. They figure out that someone has been doing this on purpose, and they tell Mario and Luigi to go find them and bring them to justice. And then Bowser appears. He complains about not being invited to the meeting or whatever when he sees Mario, gets really upset and tries burning Princess Peach alive. Mario saves her and they go into battle. After Mario wins because Peach was actively weakening Bowser, she throws Bowser out the castle. He lands in the forest and meets a strange vendor who gives him a strange mushroom to defeat Mario. And Bowser eats it and starts inhaling everything. So yeah, Bowser inhales Mario and the rest of the gang. This story is insanely stupid, and I love it. Don't ask why. Mario games always have ridiculously long-winded plots, but this one obviously takes the cake. Well done, Alpha Dream. You made a story so dumb, it's fantastic. Anyway, we must switch between controlling Bowser and controlling the brothers. As Mario and Luigi, we must repair things inside of Bowser's body that have been messed up by this fiasco to make Bowser stronger. And as Bowser, we must save the Mushroom Kingdom from being taken over by that strange vendor who just happens to be the main antagonist, Lord Farfel. This green bean looking guy. He wants to take over the Mushroom Kingdom for some reason, I don't really know. So yeah, the story is so dumb it's great, but we all know RPGs tell amazing stories, but I just can't stand the gameplay. So why do I like Bowser's Inside Story? What does it do differently? Well, let's take a look at that gameplay. So the gameplay is split in two, essentially, being played as the brothers or playing as Bowser. So we'll take a look at each, starting with the brothers, and wow, this is interesting. Most RPGs go for this top-down perspective, I guess, making it a 3D game in 2D, essentially, if you get what I'm trying to say. Bowser's Inside Story does shake things up in the classic Mario fashion. Mario and Luigi are controlled from the side in a platformer-like world, and I love it. It feels like a traditional Mario game, the platformers we've all grown to love. I much prefer this too if it was a top-down perspective. It keeps things more interesting and original. You can also jump on enemies, but that just puts you into a battle with them where you deal some extra damage in the beginning. There are some cool puzzle-like areas like this water one where you have to move Bowser away and to a fountain to fill the level with water. It's both creative and a neat puzzle. However, how does the battle mode, my least favorite part of any RPG, turn out? In battles with Mario and Luigi, we take turns as each of them. We have multiple choices to do, symbolized by these blocks above us. The A and B buttons control each of them, and we can choose from different attacks. The jump is pretty typical, bounce on an enemy. The hammer allows you to run to an enemy and hit with a hammer, obviously, and the special attacks can be used by both of them where they work together to deal a ton of damage. You can also use items to heal or other stuff, plus you can flee, although that'll make you lose coins which can be spent in a shop. Now this seems like a pretty typical battle system, but Bowser's Inside Story is completely different. In fact, all of the Mario and Luigi's are different in this specific way because it relies on one thing, quick timing. When using your jump attack, you have to hit either A or B, depending on which character you're attacking with, right above their head to do double damage. Hammer needs to charge up, and you have to find the perfect spot to let her rip to do more damage. But wait too long, and the hammer will break and you'll hardly do any damage. Not only do your attacks cause more damage with quick timing, but you're also not completely defenseless when being attacked like any other game. You just watch yourself lose health. Like I mentioned before, normal RPGs will just let you attack and then they attack. Boring! In this game, you can counterattack. Let's say an enemy is coming at you, just click that jump button at the right time and you jump on top of them, dealing damage to them instead. This can be done with the hammer for some specific attacks or enemies. Some enemies require use to hammer or vice versa because they're like a ghost or they have spikes on top of them. So, and really mixes up the gameplay sometimes. Almost every enemy has a counterattack, and my favorite part about how this is that you need to take the time to learn how to predict them and the perfect time to hit the button. Holy crap, this makes the game way better. It's still that simple take turns battle mode we all know and hate, but it has that classic Mario flair. The way it presents itself is so smart, and it's not too hard for someone to understand. I really like this, it makes it way less boring. seems even more like a Mario game. However, as you know, we still have to save the overworld as Bowser, so what's playing as him like? Bowser is instead played from a top-down perspective like a typical RPG, which I'm fine with as it makes more sense. Anyway, Bowser goes around doing his things, although you can now punch and breathe fire. It's super satisfying and fun. Just to burn down trees to clear a path or use your strength to knock things over and solve puzzles. It's invigorating and I love it. Bowser also has battles like the Bros, and they're not too different, although he does deal more damage and has more health points than the Bros to compensate for only one of him. He can breathe fire and punch, which are both build-up attacks just like the hammer, although he's slightly different with special attacks. Bowser's special attacks are unlocked when you save some of his minions. You know, Shy Guys, Koopa Troopas, Goombas, those guys. Instead of quick button timing like the Bros, Bowser's special attacks are touch-based. I was waiting for when this game shoved in touch controls for no reason just because it's on the DS. Whatever. I'm okay with this because there's a tap to begin button, so I have the time to mentally prepare and, well, grab my stylus. He has an extra attack, being the Inhale. Not only can you suck up items from enemies like coins, healing fruits, this kind of stuff, but suck up smaller enemies. When doing this, you can fight those enemies as the Bros, which is super cool. It's not really used during typical fights, it's more of an option, but during the boss fight, it's implemented very well and such a smooth transition. I really love it. I've been a little inconsistent in my videos on whether I talk about the aesthetic first or last, so I'm gonna start making sure it's always the last bit. Anyway, yes, the aesthetic. How does this game look and feel? The controls are nice, but they don't feel too difficult to deal with or slippery. They work well. My only issue with the controls are when controlling the Bros, how you have to jump individually as each of them using A and B. And Luigi keeps falling like an idiot. I have to go and get him because Mario can't jump without being Luigi being in close proximity. Luigi is so hard to deal with, I might make a Luigi-less run of the game, so subscribe for that, I guess. When it comes to graphics, there's something interesting to talk about. So this game got a remake on the 3DS, the worst selling Mario game of all time. Video on that for another date. I got a complete overhaul on the graphics department, so there's sort of debate whether the original or the remake is better in terms of graphics. For me, I vastly prefer the original. The remake does look great and more realistic, but come on, this isn't fun. The original has a charm to it like no other. It's truly amazing to look at. I miss when games had to look like this. Bowser's Inside Story looks great. It looks exactly like the Game Boy Advance original, which I also love the way it looks. The pixel art is on point. It looks good. I love it. Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is a fantastic looking game, and I love the way it looks to death. Now we know my eyes love this game. What about my ears? I'm fine with the soundtrack. It honestly sounds like Zelda and Mario themes had a baby. It matches the aesthetic, it's just not my favorite. I like every track, I can get a few head bops, but it honestly is just fine in my opinion. Nothing else to say. So, that's it. Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is an amazing game. I can't stand other RPGs to be honest, but I really enjoy this one. It's fun, looks great, has a ridiculous story, nice enough soundtrack. This is everything a video game should be. You want to get some games for the DS, I highly recommend this one. It's a great title, no doubt about it. So that's my all-time favorite RPG. Feel free to tell me your favorite RPG down in the comments. I might give them a try just to see if there's another one I enjoy. I plan to make a video on the console counterparts of these games, the Paper Mario series. But until then, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Join the Discord, I'll put the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.